My name is Marissa, and you're watching another episode of Slabtown Slubs. I have been absent from this channel for a while, and I apologize. You know, I've had some busyness and life changes and blah blah blah, so I just wanted to check in. Trying to make this fairly short. I have been knitting, I have been sewing, and yeah, I guess I'll go through the normal stuff, and then at the end maybe talk about what in the heck, where in the heck I've been or something. I don't know. Okay, so let me do up my finished objects. I have 3, I think. I'm wearing one. This is the what is it called? Mixtape shawl by Poison Girls. It's, I think she calls it a kite shaped shawl. And it's got all these different sections. They're a little bit repeats, but not exactly. And it's her first shawl pattern. I got to test knit this. It has the color 1 is, I think, stockinette. Color 2 is this kind of blue-green, and that is elongated stitches. You can see them really better here. See that? And then the dark gray color is baubles. And the yarns that I used are from a kit by Beehive Yarns, who Amy from Poison Girls teamed up with to make this shawl. I'm out of practice, I'm sorry. Okay, next up, I showed, I think, some of my progress, or my beginnings of this, probably around last year, around this time. This is the Girl's Best Friend shawl by Isabel Kramer, and I used yarns by Olan in Ireland, I think, and I love how it came out. It's super duper comfy, and neither of these are blocked yet because space is at a premium at this point. My husband is still remodeling the basement, and so there's like a big portion of it cleared out so that he can make a room for our oldest kid to move into, hopefully within the year. And then the last thing I'm going to show you is another Poison Girls design, and that's the Betty and Judy Lodge sweater. It was like the sweater to knit this Christmas season, and I got it done in 8 days. It has these adorable puff sleeves and some color work, which I did poorly, but you know, I tried. It has a cute keyhole opening at the back with a little button closure, and I made this one with some Cascade 220. Yeah. And I like how it has the twisted rib on the bottom and the cuffs. So those are the things I have finished lately. I brought a whole bunch of works in progress because I'm just kind of in the middle of a bunch of stuff. So I'll just get them going. The thing I'm working on the most is from my Make 9 last year, and I definitely have showed this before. It's the Opetajatar, or aka Be Mine sweater by Vera Valimaki, and I got the body finished, so I'm working on the first sleeve, and then after I finish the sleeves there's ribbed button, wide button bands, I guess. I think they're called Placket and the Pattern. I don't know. And I'm making this out of House of a la Mode yarn in Glitter Storm, and I did not alternate the skeins, and as you can see, this portion is much lighter in color than this portion, and then the sleeve is kind of ending up the same way, so that kind of stinks, but I think it'll work out. It'll be fine. So I got stuck on the sleeve caps for a long time, just kind of like not really. She said measure until the sleeves are 7 inches, but didn't really give you a point at which to measure the 7 inches. So I just kind of put it on hold until I could try to figure it out, and I never really figured it out, so I just decided till the whole, like from the very tippy part of the sleeve cap to the edge was 7 inches. I don't know. So I did that. And then I'm working on a Amba shawl, or I'm sorry, Kimba shawl by Amba O'Brien, and I'm just about to start fading in the third color, or striping in, I guess. This is my piano lesson knitting. My kids take piano classes, and they haven't had any class for 2 weeks now, so I haven't really been working on it. I've been trying to get that sweater done because that was part of my Make 9 from last year, and I didn't finish anything. So you might see on my Instagram, I just put up the same Make 9, and I'm just like, I'll try to bust through them this year. So anyway, yeah, that's my Kimba shawl, and that's made with the blue is by Fiber Fools, or the green, whatever, and then the pink is by Beehive Yarns, and then I'm also going to use this yarn, which is called I forgot. It's the junk yarn. Let's see if the band is in here. I would imagine that it is. There we go. Serenity. I feel serenity now that I've learned of the name. And then I have this dark sparkly gray, which is a Woolen Vine, and that one, I think it's called Coven. Grim. Oh, and as you may have noticed, my camera hold on, can focus on stuff close up now because I got a new camera. Yay! That makes me happy. And I got it a few months ago, and I've just been like ridiculously busy, I guess. It's just, and Nick's been working from home all the time, like a lot, and so I haven't had a lot of time to just hide in the basement and do my secret YouTube podcast. I don't know why it has to be a secret. It doesn't care. And he won't make fun of me. But it's a secret anyways. And then we have a mystery sock project, I think. Oh yeah. It's my, I think it's Hermione's Everyday Socks that I'm doing with my own hand-dyed yarn. Ugh. This one's called Neapolitan. And, oops, got it in my tea. And, of course it's not going to focus. There's no face. There's no face. Come on. There we go. And, it's called Neapolitan. It looks like Neapolitan ice cream. That's why it's called that. I'm doing them 2 at a time. Yeah. So now my socks are gonna smell like tea. Yeah, working on those. They're supposed to be a sample, but I don't know, you guys. I don't know what's going on with my little shop. I've lost motivation. So we'll see if it comes back. And then I have another pair of socks that's loosely based on Susan B. Anderson's Ribbed Socks for Kids, but I'm doing them toe up for my oldest baby, who is 13 now. And this is Wisdom Picks yarn, and the color is Paisley. 2 at a time, ribbed, not ribbed under the foot, in the instep or whatever. What else do you need to know? I don't know if they're gonna fit him. His feet are growing rapidly, so we'll see. I think I started them in the summer, and here we are in January. Still not done. What a depressing podcast. And then I started another Poison Girls pattern. The Frenchie blouse. And I have the upper back finished. So it's a sweater with bobbles. So I need to put the stitches on a holder and then get the fronts done, and then it'll be, after that'll be most of the bobbles or the pop stitches, and then I can do just round and round stockinette. Oh, and my husband got me some Hayas, the smaller gauge set. My mom got me the bigger gauge set last year for Christmas, and then my husband got me the smaller one this year for Christmas. So I don't use the bigger one that much because a lot of my knitting is on non-chunky yarn. So that's my progress on that. And this is a really cool bag from Modular. She had a shop update recently, and hello, there's x-rays all over it, so obviously I had to get it. I feel like I seem unpleasant today. What do you think, you guys? I don't know. I think I'm just discouraged that everything's just, I have so many unfinished things. That's okay. And then I started another Poison Girls pattern, the Beauty School blouse or top, I don't, but, and I was making it with my birthday yarn I had posted, whoops, on Instagram in August, near my birthday, and my gauge was just way off. I knitted the entire body, and I tried it on, and it was too big. I haven't lost weight or anything, so just, my gauge sucked. I thought I was right on, but I was not. That's not even a work in progress, but I'm gonna redo it, so it will be a work in progress. I'm gonna use that yarn. I'm gonna use some other yarn that I have purchased, and then I have, I don't know if I've showed this or not. I know that I've made a video and just never published it that I think I showed this on, but I'll show you it now. I don't think I'm ever going to get around to editing that video. It's like a few months old. So this is the Fae Wing Shawl by Boho Knits. I'm using the Lion brand shawl on a ball. And it's sparkly and lacy, and it's really pretty, and it's cottony, and I love it. And it's so tiny. But I think you can just like go on like to infinity and make it, you just follow the same few steps over and over again, and it increases and increases, and it's like an isosceles triangle kind of, well, it's this shape, whatever that shape is. Is that a right triangle? And it just gets as big as you want, and then you can just stop whenever it's big enough for your taste, which is great. I really like her patterns, Boho Knits. So it's kind of like, you know what to do. I like the hand holding ones too, though. Don't get me wrong. But I kind of like the ones where it's like, you just keep doing that over and over again, and you'll have something eventually. Like socks, you know? So that's all the things that I've kind of been working on the most. And obviously nothing super intensive because nothing is finished. This I got done in a month because it was a test knit. This, I put it down for a while and then picked it up again because I needed to finish something, and I knew I could do it in a fairly short amount of time. And then, you know, a cropped sweater in worsted weight goes pretty quick, so that was quick. And I bought a few bits of yarn kind of during Christmas time and after Christmas, and I got, I'll show you those. I got some Driven Snow by Bow and Vine, and this is on her normal sock base. It's not sparkly, yeah. Super pretty. And I also purchased this pretty color from Junk Yarn, and it's called Carol, and I think it's named after Casapinka. I guess her name is Carol. I was thinking it was called Carol because of Christmas, but I don't think that's actually true. And it's kind of ish similar to a birthday yarn. This has more white in it, I think, but it's the same pink, which is kind of fun. And then I also purchased this one called Permanent from Earl Grey Fiber Company, and she also has a podcast. I forget what it's called though. But with all of these, I just got 2 skeins, and I'm going to probably just make like a million beauty school tops because they're just so straightforward and simple. And I also got this cool project bag from Earl Grey Fiber Company. So anyway, the Permanent, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is her kind of contribution to the Tits Out collective, and she has made it a permanent colorway. It's like super pretty, so yeah, that's everything knitting related. I think, I mean mostly. So I'll show you a couple things that I have sewn. so I'll just edit this. Right. So, get it? So, I made stockings for my children, and I will make stockings for Nick and I, but I haven't yet. So this one is for Ivan, and this is a pattern by Sunny Day Supply called Sunny Stocking, and it took me a heck of a while to get the hang of it because diamonds are difficult. And then that one's for Ivan. This one, let me trim this real quick. There's just a little thread hanging off of it. This is Frosty's, a little bit less wonky. And they both picked their thread colors. Ivan picked yellow for his quilting color. Frosty picked kind of a chartreuse. Then I have the front of Mateo's done, but he wants to do the quilting, so he's going to be using a purple thread to do the quilting. We have the insides and the back all cut out, I think. So once I get him down here on the sewing machine, should be able to get it done in an hour or two. And then I have these strips for Nick's stocking all ready to rock. Going to work. Yay! So they all have pretty much the same-ish similar fabrics in them. And Nick's is going to be mostly greens and blues. Tiny bit of pink. I don't think that's going to make it into the stocking though, because it's on the end piece, the end strip. So you sew 7 strips. Hi. So you sew 7 strips of 8 diamonds and sew those together, and then cut out the shape of the stocking, and then it's smooth sailing after that. But sewing the diamonds together is pretty nerve-wracking, so it's taken me a while. And then I'm excited that I get to put mine together pretty soon, because there's some of the fabrics that I bought these fabrics in 2015, so they've been sitting around unused for a while. I'm gonna take a little sip-a-doodle of my tea. And then another thing I've worked on is a quilt. So this is a baby quilt for one of Nick's co-workers' babies, and I have the top all done. It's just folded in half, whatever. I have the top all done. Unfortunately, the 2 charm packs that I purchased the squares were different sizes, and I was pretty disappointed in that because they don't quite match up how I want them to, but whatever. The backing is a flannel herringbone, and I got all these fabrics from Fat Quarter Shop. So, and then the binding is gonna be hi. I just destroyed my backdrop on the way to get the fabric. Anyways, so you know, the blanket itself is pretty low value for the most part, and the backing is the herringbone gray, and then so the binding is going to be the pop, which is this beautiful kind of emerald green color, kind of a watercolor almost. So I think that'll be fun. I've kind of been working on this since November. I just need to finish at some point. And also I forgot to show you, I got a bunch of my granny stripe blanket. I think I'm doing it different than some people. Hold out my loop, that's fine. Where I'm using the entire leftover. So I have like a few sections that are pretty big. They're not just a stripe. But honestly, I'm not super into scrappy projects, so this works out fine. But it's, I don't know, 2 feet, 2.5 feet long now. So some pretty good progress, and it's like really wide. It's like probably wide enough to go on a bed. So let's see. Your arms are supposed to be as long as you are tall, right? Something like that. So it's over 5 feet long, I think. So it's coming right along. Had to show that. Yeah, I think that's all the craft stuff. So if that's all you're here for, thanks for stopping by. And so I'm gonna launch into my personal stuff or whatever. It's not like a huge deal. So let's see. I think the last time I put anything out was August or September, and since then, okay, I'm gonna start at this weird point. I was on Facebook, minding my own business, and someone posted something like, info dumping is my love language. And I was like, excuse me, I don't really know what that is, but it sounds like what I do. If I know you well, I will info dump on you. And it was, turned out to be like an autism awareness kind of thing. And I was like, okay, cool. Autistic. Hi, I'm back. I don't know how much time I have left. But anyways, I saw this thing on the internet, said something about info dumping, so I looked that up to see what in the hell it was, and it was something related to it's an autism trait. And so I was like, huh, I do that kind of pretty much all the time to my husband and anyone I care about and trust. You know, I just kind of let loose all this information about my special interests, which include knitting and sewing, and when I was a girl it was horses and reading the encyclopedia. And I found some resources online regarding autism in women, which is not something that's girls are not generally diagnosed with autism, and so they usually end up being diagnosed later in life. And I read a few books about it, and it just sounds like me. All this stuff sounds like me, even down to like the details of childhood that sometimes happen. And you know, it's not debilitating or anything. I can definitely function in my everyday life, but there's a lot of social aspects that apply to me, and I decided to see a psychologist about it, and it wasn't a diagnosis necessarily, it was a rule out appointment, so I could either rule out the possibility of being autistic, or he would say, I think maybe you do, and we can pursue it further if you feel like it's affecting your life, and you can get, you know, help or whatever. And so what ended up happening was he told me that it's his opinion that I do have autism, and the diagnosis of Asperger's is no longer a thing, but that if it was, he said that he would suggest I look into that, and if I needed any sort of therapy or, you know, couples therapy or anything, I should seek out a therapist who specializes in Asperger's or high functioning autism. So that's just been kind of like something that I've been thinking about a lot since I think this happened in October. So it really dominated my brain for a long time, and I think I wasn't knitting as much. I was still sewing my stockings. Yeah, and then I went to like my normal doctor just to get a checkup, my annual checkup, whatever, and you know, got my blood work done for my lipids and stuff, and it came back that I had slightly elevated cholesterol levels, which is kind of a problem in my family anyway, because my dad had heart disease beginning fairly young. I think he was like 45 or 40 when we first learned about his heart disease, and I'm 38, so having a high cholesterol level is not good for me. It's just like, I'm not doing this. So it was the last test I had, which was I think in 2012, a long time ago, it was, my levels were perfect. So it was a little bit shocking that they're not perfect anymore. And I was like, okay, I'm going to fix our diet, because I know that you can reduce your cholesterol with diet, and there's all this misinformation out there that says that dietary cholesterol does not contribute to blood cholesterol, but it actually does. And my mom was trying to tell me it's genetic, you can't do anything about it, and I was like, screw that. So the first step was cutting out sources of dietary cholesterol, and the first thing on the chopping block was meat. And so I was like, okay, we're gonna be vegetarian now, I'm not gonna buy meat anymore. And then the more I looked into it, the more I realized that you need to cut all animal products if you want to fix your cholesterol problem. So we're vegan now. And I guess it's more dietary vegan because I'm still using wool, which I feel a little bit bad about. But I have a lot of it. I don't think I can offload it necessarily very easy. And so, yeah, there's like those are two big things. I guess they're like health related, kind of. My battery's blinking at me. But anyways, I just wanted to kind of put that out there. I've had some things to think about lately, and I feel like there is a little bit of resolution in changing my diet with the cholesterol stuff and just overall health. I've lost 5 pounds, actually 6, and since November, and I haven't had my blood cholesterol rechecked, but I am confident that it'll be a lot better than it was in October or November. So yeah, I just wanted to give everyone an update. on what's going on and why I haven't really been putting up any videos. Yeah, so I think that's like everything in a nutshell. And company FaceTime. I think that's it. So hopefully I'll see you guys a lot sooner than like 5 months from now. And it'll be great. Alright. Have a happy. Bye.